Welcome to Inside Gaston. I'm James Privett. We have a variety of news today. First up is Chris with a piece about the upcoming elections.
Oh, wow. Thanks, James. Well, today I'm doing a story on the upcoming SGA elections. Why don't we just go check them out? SGA stands for Student Government Association, and they are ready for an election. I had a talk with SGA member Ricky Robinson about some of the positions being elected.
Here at Gaston College, we have an SGA, and it has an executive board, which is your president, your vice president, your secretary, and your treasurer of the SGA.
I then asked how students can get involved in voting for the election.
On the college homepage at www.gaston.edu, the students may vote for the officers of the Student Government Association Senate. By participating and getting involved in this, if you cast your ballot, you'll be entered into a pool of students where we will randomly select some students to receive gift cards. The values of those are $100 or $50 or $20 or $15.
Vote? Yes, I will. As you can see, the SGA elections are here, and you don't forget to vote. I'm Chris Jones, and now for James's interview with Professor Eric Miller. James!
Thank you, Chris. We're here with Eric Miller, a sociology professor at Gaston College, to get his opinion on the Iranian president's visit to the Columbia University. Thanks for coming, Eric.
Sure, you're welcome.
Professor Miller, what was your initial reaction to the Iranian president's comments?
I have to admit that I wasn't surprised by Mr. Ahmadinejad's comments because he's been saying things very similar to this for quite some time. And actually it was pretty much the standard line from the fundamentalist Islamic world, from the theocracies where you have the leaders in the church also being the leaders of the Islamic State. So it wasn't anything I hadn't heard before. The way in which he said it was perhaps a little more inflammatory than the usual rhetoric coming from leaders of these countries.
And do you see any similarities between Ahmadinejad and any historical leaders in the past?
Well, I think in general you could say that his tactics, which are somewhat heavy-handed, we've seen throughout history, but not so much as in any sort of theocracy where you have leaders who use the fundamental precepts of their religion to cause their people to be governed in a certain way. So, I mean, you can see him, some of his tactics in leaders all the way from maybe Stalin, all the way up to some of the ways Putin is reacting today, but also in leaders like Calvin on the Christian side, very similar kind of way of doing things.
And if you were president of Gaston College, would you invite Ahmadinejad to this school?
I have mixed feelings on that. I believe in free speech, and I would like for everyone to be open to ideas, even though I personally don't think much of his ideas. But at the same time, I don't really want him to be able to use his appearance here to show his own people how different they are from the United States and to secure his own power even further.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Miller.
Sure, you're welcome.
And next we have Scottie. Let's go to him.
Thanks, James. I'm Scottie Jones, and I got a question for some of the students here at Gaston College. How do you study for a big test? Come on, let's find out.
Generally, I just cram everything in the night before, man. It just seems to stick better that way. If I memorize stuff like 5 days before, I'll forget it.
Well, I cram right before. A lot. I never do it before, and I never even do it a day before. I just procrastinate up until probably about an hour before the test, and then I get it all in.
Well, me, I don't study for tests, because studying, it throws me off. I just know it and do it.
How do you study for a test?
I spend hours on end, boarded up in my room with candles.
I don't study.
At all?
At all.
Ever?
I cram. I cram study.
I just read the books, fall asleep, and put the book on my head, and it goes in.
I don't know, going online, I usually look up a lot of my stuff there. Usually I just try to study as I go along and take lots of freaking notes.
I read my book and study the notes the teacher has gave me. That's it.
And how's your grades?
A's and B's.
So it seems like we got a lot of crammers here at Gaston College. I'm Scottie Jones, and back to you, James.
Thank you, Scotty. Next we have Stephen and his story on the WSGE pledge drive.
Thank you, James. I'm standing outside of WSGE's studios right now, and as you can see behind me, they're already hard at work with this fund drive. Let's go inside and see if we can get a closer look. A vital part of every fund drive is the telephone volunteers, who each have their own reasons for being here.
I do like the blues.
Okay,
and
and
I do
what's
like the eclectic blend. This time I'm going through the whole 6 days of it.
I love everybody here. I love the music. I love the enthusiasm, and of course I'd come out here and spend my own time to support everybody.
For a public radio station, running a fund drive is serious business, but everyone has to have room for fun, and these folks sure know how to have it. Another feature unique to public radio is the guest artists who add their own talent and flavor, like Robin and Tony Rogers.
You can get just what you want, from fast love into a bottle of wine. Hook up with fast talking Fanny or one-eyed Joe. They got just what you need to take you where you want to go. Down in Drunkard's Alley where salvation is so hard to find.
I'm Stephen Boulis from the WSGE Fund Drive here in Dallas, North Carolina. Back to you, James.
Thanks, Stephen. Finally, we have Nick with a package about the grants for the daycare program.
Thank you, James. Nicholas Helms here for Inside Gaston. And as every parent knows, raising children is not easy, especially when you combine parenting with studying, which is the case for many students here at Gaston College who are full-time parents. But a new grant offered by Gaston College is about to help all those parents in need. Michelle Scarlett, Director of the Early Childhood Development Center here at Gaston College, is the grant coordinator for the Child Care Allocation Grant. The grant was started after the North Carolina Community College system saw that students who had children of their own needed help with their tuition.
When the North Carolina Community College system saw a need for tuition assistance for students who are parents also, and this is to help with child care assistance while they attend classes during the day, so that they have time to go to class and take care of their coursework and still have their children in a high-quality center.
But what does a student have to do to get this grant?
Amount of funding in a reimbursement type. What the student does basically is turn in attendance sheets each month, receipts, and then they're reimbursed to their level each month for tuition assistance for their children. What it does basically is it assists approximately 15 to 20 students each semester, students who are parents who have their children in licensed child care centers, attend classes, while knowing that while they're in class that their children are maintained in a high quality center.
And there you have it. It goes to show that at Gaston College, the student comes first. I'm Nicholas Helms for Inside Gaston. Back to you, James.
That's all for this edition of Inside Gaston. I'm James Privett. You stay classy, Gaston College.